All right, folks, I screwed up. I admit it. So a few days ago or so, I made a video about my modest retirement income, and I was getting some comments about if it's not going to be specific, you're wasting my time, kind of a thing. And then I finally dawned on me why. What I had done was basically talk about what my income was coming from and what my sources were. But what I wanted to talk about, and my intent of the video was to talk about how to make a modest income work in retirement. So I want to clarify it now and go through some of these things, and hopefully this will help you guys understand my meaning better. So the first thing you need to do is you need to come up with your minimum essential income. And what that means to me is you need to know exactly how much it's going to cost you every month to cover the essentials. And the essentials are obviously housing and everything that goes with that, whether it's a payment, whether it's rent, whether it's gas, electric, water, everything is going to, insurance, everything it's going to take to maintain your household. Second thing is food. How are you going to stay alive, right? So everything it's going to cost you minimum to cover your food expenses. And then number three to me is the other essentials not covered by the first two, meaning if you are on medication that costs you every month, you need to consider that. Whatever your Medicaid, part 1, 2, all that stuff is going to cost you possibly. Any other expenses that are tallied up every month that are not covered by the other two, if that makes any sense. Everything gathered together, you need to come up with a dollar amount that covers those essentials. This is your must-have every month minimum income. All right, so now we're just going to take a number just to make it easy. Let's say it's $3,000 a month, covers all your basic essential minimums. Now, you need to consider what are my income sources. If it's Social Security, you need to take that number. If it's you have a pension, you need to add that number. And you're going to take those two numbers together, whatever they might be. Do not calculate 401k yet. Work with numbers that are coming in without you touching your investments. Okay, so let's say that I'm going to get $2,000 a month, which is the average Social Security right now, is what they say is $2,000 a month. It's $2,000 a month, and I need $3,000. How do I make up the difference? Well, the way you make up the difference is one, you can eliminate and minimize your essentials and make it cheaper to live. There's a couple ways to do that. One is make sure you don't have any debts. Two is you could possibly move to a state with no income tax, for instance, especially if it's no income tax on Social Security and no income tax period. Third, you could consider going to a cheaper place to live otherwise. If you own your home and your taxes are more than you can afford with your minimums, you may want to consider that. Because what happens next is that wherever you're short, you're going to have to start making up with your 401k or your investments. Now, if you're the median out there in 401k investment at 60, you've got somewhere just under 200,000, 175 or 171, something like that. That's not going to last very long if you got to draw from it every month right away. Hopefully you've got better than that. Hopefully you're closer to what average is. Average is all the numbers combined divided by the number, yada, yada. So hopefully you're up higher than that, maybe, 300, 350, 400, whatever that number is. But whatever you're short is going to have to start coming from that 401k investment to cover whatever you're short. So it's $1,000 a month and you have a $200,000 portfolio. You're going to take approximately $12,000 a year from that portfolio. That's not even 10%. It's like what? Not 5, because that'd be 10 grand. It's like 6%. As long as your percentages of return are always at or greater than your withdrawal rate, that $200,000 will last you a very long time. So then you just have to stay within that budget. If you have a greater number, then you can afford to take more out and still not deplete, right? I'm going to talk about this on my next video because I have some numbers rounded up I'm going to do the next time, talking about how to improve your modest income sources using what you already have. But for this video, I want to just make sure that I'm covering what you would do otherwise. If this is all you have, you got to find a way to live on that. If you cannot find a way, then you either have to keep working to improve your financial situation going into retirement, or you need to eliminate more debt, or you need to, if you are retired already and you're running short, then you're going to need to look at part-time work. If you don't want to run out of money, you've got to make sure you cover your minimum essential income. So the more you have invested to work with, the longer it will last based on how much you withdraw. That's the basic math of how long will $1 million last me. How much are you going to take every year? What are you making on it every year? And then you just do the math. If you're making 10% and you're taking 10%, it's going to offset and you'll basically always have that money. If you're taking 10 and you're making 5, you're going to run out quicker. So there's ways to calculate that out. NerdWallet's got a great calculator for it. There's also Charles Schwab has some income and calculation numbers to figure out how long your money's going to last. But anyway, I hope that clarifies a little bit. This is what I would do, and this is what I did do. We have modified our budget down to where we can live off of my modest retirement pension number without having to do any touching any of our investment money. Now, of course, yes, my wife is going to work. I will probably continue to work. But I'm saying if I left today with my pension package, could we live on just that if we had to? And my answer is yes. I've modified our budget down to that number and below. So anything else we make helps and keeps us from having to tap the 401k at all. Anyway, so that's where I go with this. I hope this helps you guys out a little bit. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them. I do appreciate it, and I do my best to get back to y'all when I can. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.